What is going on, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Flying Brian's Garage. In today's episode, we got another Bolens here. It's kind of familiar, don't it? Yeah. So, just so you know, it is not the same one. You clearly see Bolens. Bolens. That's the one we revived not too long ago. It is yet to sell. But a great mower. Just yet to sell. This is a customer's machine. He brought this. It's the same guy that worked on the green quality Farm and Country 42-inch cut AYP chassis. The one that got the engine swap, the transaxle repair, the Gen 2 steering swap, new carburetor, all that stuff. Well, he is very happy with the green mower. I have since got it back to him, and he is ecstatic with how it turned out. I am too. I think it turned out great. It is an awesome mower. So we're going to give this one love. It needs some love. So, first things first, there's no issues with the transaxles. There's no issues with the drive train per se on this one, except for the engine. The engine is dead on this one. Unfortunately, it has had a catastrophe. That should tell you something. That is pieces of the block. You see what the material it is. It's cast aluminum. That is the material of the block of these engines. It's a very porous material. So, we'll go ahead and pop the hood on this. It has a 13.5 Briggs & Stratton power built. It's a overhead valve, 344cc engine. As you see, if we zoom in here, there's our culprit. We have a hole in the block. So, this engine, of course, is toast. But it does have some good parts. What we'll be doing is we'll be pulling this engine off, taking all the good parts off of it and saving those, of course. Starter, exhaust, head, all that good stuff. Of course, our block is trash. And in this video, we may actually tear into this block just to see exactly what happened. I'm pretty sure the two common things that happen with these things is the weight system either snaps, gets caught up in the camshaft or the crankshaft and the piston moving up and down, and it usually tends to end up slamming it into something and locking the engine up, or in this case, putting a hole in the block. The other things that happen is the rods, the piston rods themselves, will actually snap in half on these engines, and when they do, they will also lock up and put a hole in the block. So, as you know, okay, this one turns over, but you can tell there's no compression. So we know for a fact that more than likely the piston rod itself is snapped. So therefore the crankshaft right now isn't bound up. The piston must have moved out of the way enough to keep the engine out of a bind. But I am pretty sure that all we are spinning right now is the crankshaft, maybe the bottom bearing on the rod, if it's still in piece and put together on there. Sometimes they actually break and fall down into the block too. And yeah, we're only spinning flywheel, crankshaft, and more than likely the pulley on the bottom and the belts. So that would explain a little bit of resistance that it has, but it has no back pressure. So that tells me that it's not moving that piston up and down anymore. So that's toast. No big deal. There is a couple things we're gonna kind of like clean up on this thing, make it look a little better, get it nice. We have no fuel in the tank, and that is good. Tank don't smell bad, it's not dirty. Whoever put this on put the fuel filter upside down. That'll end up getting fixed. It's got a nice seat on it. Could damn sure use a good cleaning. We got a battery on this thing. I have not seen a date on it. Oh, well, the dates are supposed to be up here, but it's not punched out. Okay. Unless they got a date sticker somewhere that they just slapped on it. Yep, 2022. Okay. Says it on the back. I'll pull it up for y'all. Let's see if I can. Upside down. 2022. So, I have put a voltmeter on that battery because I wanted to check it to see if it was good when I was working on his last mower, because I was going to pull this battery and use it, but it is completely dead. So that battery is also no good. We'll have to yank that out of there, and we will also be probably just using one of my batteries for now. But there will be a little bit of deck adjustments and repairs because there is a little bent spot over here where it's kind of bent in that we'll kind of pull it back out. Lube everything, adjust everything, clean it, put another engine on it. So let me shut up and quit talking. Let's get this thing drug in the shop and start tearing the engine off of it. But I think before we do that, we're going to put y'all on the stand, come out here and pull the deck off so it's easier to get it in here and easier to work on it. Alright, I got the deck off, tires aired up, she's up in here. Next step, we need to take the hood off. That way we can get to everything. So, I'm hoping, I think this thing's a plug and play. Oh yeah, we got the same hookup. Oh yeah, we sure do. And I like it. I like it a lot. It's good stuff. So, what we can do, just go ahead and start disconnecting this stuff and getting it out. So, we'll go ahead and take off our hood. We'll disconnect our headlight assembly. Seen better days. That shit's dirty as hell. So yeah, let's disconnect the engine, get the hood off of it, and start pulling this thing apart. Oh, it doesn't have a disconnect in there for the wiring. Of course it don't. Well, I guess I am taking the headlights out. That is broken, or no? It's just unhooked. Let's see here. Come on. What the hell is going on? I want to just go back home. You live there. You know what, screw it. We'll worry about that later. Got that out of the way. Let's finish getting the rest of the crap out of the way. And we can pull us an engine. Alright, we got our engine off. It's pretty quick. Now that we got that done, we're probably going to go ahead and lower this back down, get it off the lift, take it outside and wash it up. It does need a good bath. So let's get it clean. We'll get this over here so we can mess with it later, and then we'll get that on the lift or on the engine hoist. That way we can put this back on the lift after we clean it and drop that straight down in it. Alright, let's try to get this thing cleaned up some. See how good it turns out. Hopefully it cleans up like that one does. Alright, we got it rinsed off and got a good bit of the crap off. We're still gonna come out here with a rag and some soap and a brush and scrub this thing down. And I can't begin to tell y'all how much I miss having a pressure washer. I gotta get another one. God, this just eats up so much time having to hand wash everything. Pressure washer done like that, hand wash, takes about an hour. So I'm gonna go get set up with a bucket, some soap, and rag and a brush, and we're gonna get to scrubbing this thing down and making it look better than it has in a long time. Alright folks, this thing cleaned up pretty good. It is a bit scratched and, you know, faded in places, but it's clean. I don't think I'm going to go all crazy with polishing this one. I'm probably just gonna leave it just like that. It looks good enough, and it's not anything special of his, so we're not gonna go crazy on this one, but we, you know, get it looking good. Actually, that didn't get. That didn't get clean. Cut off with the old shirt. It cleaned up pretty decent. The inside of it cleaned up really good. So we're gonna let that sit and dry there. We're gonna go ahead and pull our I was gonna say pull our mower in here, but we need to actually pull this down and get that over there. Yeah. So let's get that over here and that over there. Alright, junk engine sitting over here on the table. We got this one up here. We did wipe off the covers and the starter and everything to make it look as good as we can make it look. We will probably spray this thing down later on once we get it on the machine and get it out there. But for now, this is what we're working with. And it looks pretty good. There's some gunk in there, but you know, other than that, top side looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and, well, that's the one Bolens. The other one's over there. Let's get it in here and get to putting an engine on this thing. Alright, well, we do not have a long enough throttle cable on here. That ain't gonna reach. Even if I try to put it up on top of the engine, it's just not gonna reach. It actually is supposed to go over here, so your throttle hooks up there and your choke hooks up here. And you do have to have a separate choke cable for this unit. So I went through and found this guy. This guy is most definitely long enough to reach. So we're gonna swap out our throttle cables real quick, and then we might be able to, well, actually swap out the throttle cables. We can put the pulley on the bottom of the engine, bolt it up, and get the belt on, and put some gas in it, see if this thing will run and ride. Be a pretty quick turnaround. I like quick turnarounds. Alright, before we fire this thing up, we're going to do an oil change. Because this dude definitely does want an oil change. So let's go ahead and drain our oil out, get some fresh in there. got some oil treatment here, which got CDDP in it, and this engine does have a flat tappet. So we're going to add some of this. Not too much, but just enough to give that oil some zinc. Then we're going to hit it with some 5W30 to wash it down its throat. Let that sit for a minute. And we'll check it. See what our level is at. See if we need to add any. While we're here, let's go ahead and pop off our breather cover here. Alright, we just checked our oil, got it topped off. I might go ahead and pull the plugs out and clean them real quick too, just to make sure that they're good. But we got our air box cleaned out. Everything that goes with our air box over there is also cleaned out. We blew this off real good. We got us a temporary choke hooked up to there. We got our throttle hooked up to here. What we're going to do real quick is we're going to pull our plugs, check, clean, and re-gap put in. And then what we're going to do is put some gas in this thing and bottle feed it and see if we can't fire it up. We are going to have to change out the battery. We need to get a battery out here. But other than that, yep, let's get it done. So these don't look too bad. They're a little dirty, but gaps look consistent. They don't look too worn. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean these and we're going to throw them back in there. Alright, we got some 91 proof fuel. We're going to add just a tad of this heat, and really this is just technically it's just isopropyl alcohol. Contains isopropyl alcohol. It helps the firing rate just a little bit, boost up that octane so it'll fire nice. It's already 91 proof non-ethanol, so we're going to add a few squirts of used motor oil. That way it'll lube them cylinders, because this thing ain't been ran in I don't know how long. So, just a little assistance. We just cleaned our plugs up, put them back in. They are gapped properly. They just had a little bit of carbon buildup on them, so I just cleaned them off and we're good to go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sit y'all on stand. We're going to see if this thing will fire up. You know what? It might be smart if I put a battery on it, because yeah, I don't think I can crank it without a battery. So yeah, let's get a battery in. Try to start this thing. Alright, let's grab us a key. We have us a key. Just turn over. That thing. Sounds like we got a starter problem. But let's just hook up jumper. Just in case. Unhook our safety. Alright, we got our jump box hooked up. Let's see if that adds any juice. Yeah. Looks like we have a starter issue. So it looks like we're about to be taking off engine cover and all of that good stuff. Seeing if we can't get that starter freed up enough to fire this engine. Alright, so we got some blaster, we got some brake cleaner, we got some oil. Got a little can for the oil. We also have impact, drill, and of course the starter and some tools. So we're about to start working on getting this starter hopefully working, if that is at all possible. We'll have to see. Alright, so I'm going to start off with cleaning it up. That's what's wrong with it. It's chewed up. It's not good. Alright, so I was able to get this bushing out of there. So if we can find another bushing, let's get this bushing right here out. And that's going to fix our problem. Alright, bushing. Old bushing, new bushing. So, should go right on in there. Heck yes. I love that. Let's put a little dabadoo. Also lube up. Just a hair on all this. So now we're gonna throw some earls up here. And we're gonna start reassembling. Stuff here. I'm going to make sure this is nice and juiced up. That is not wobbly anymore. It's spinning nice. So the starter just needed a bush. I'm happy about that. So now let's clean up rest of our parts. Alright, so now that this is done, let's go ahead and back up there. Take the rest of our starter here. Let's slide on our top gear. Let's give this some blaster. Gear set, spring, washer, and I'll show you an easy way to put these back on. Look, get your ass out of here. Everything was all up in my face. Give us a too big. So what you're basically doing is using the socket to help it get over the thing. Right now, sometimes you gotta size up as you go, but let's see. I had a screwdriver over here at some point. Let's see if I can find it. Screwdriver. This should work. It's not loose on the posts anymore, so let's see, let's just put it like that, so like this. So at this point, it's all down to the magnets. Just kind of want to play with them and get them down in place. sure your fingers don't get pinched as they go in. It's back with its magnets. It's get her curled up. I think that should be straight. Almost. Right there. That's a ticket. Put some of these tools away. Don't need any more. Right. Or we'll just bring the jump box to it. There we go. Testing, testing. Come alive. Alright, so that's the starter in motion, or in its position it's supposed to be in, up and down. Working. Let's go put this bad boy back on the mower. Alright, let's see if it'll turn over now. Is. Let's I'm gonna spray a little bit more good stuff on there. Now what we can do, bottle feed this sucker some. See what it does. Okay. Does indeed right. Guess we should probably put some gas in the tank. What do y'all think? Start some fuel down his neck. See how it likes that. Hopefully likes it. Try to put enough in it to do something. I don't know if it's going to hold. I have no clue how long it has been since this thing has ran. It may pull fuel, it may not pull fuel. Well, let's see. It it is kind of pulling fuel. Maybe we need to half choke this situation. Maybe it'll pull. I don't know. It'd be nice if it would. And indeed does. All right. Let's put the engine covers and everything back on this unit, and then we're gonna go take it for a ride. This thing is almost ready to roll. We got oil in it, we got fuel in it, we got everything cleaned up. We didn't have to clean the carburetor, thank God. I'm really happy about that. But yeah, it's got fresh oil, fresh fuel, non-ethanol at that. Starter's been redone, new bushing in the top, everything's been lubed and cleaned, all our terminals have been cleaned. This thing is almost ready to get down off the lift and take it for a ride. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna lift this thing up real quick. We're gonna put the pulley back up under it and get the belt and everything on, and then we'll go ahead and see what she'll do. Exhaust pointing at the ground doesn't do too well in here. Ugh. He's running. Good. Shuts off with the key. Cranks right back up with the key. Now we just need an exhaust on this thing. So I guess let's start figuring out what we need to do there. I think what we're going to have to do is extend these some. It's kind of what it's looking like. Because I don't think the muffler, the way it is going to fit up on that. We can see, but I just don't think it will, because they're dead centered. Nope. Just like I thought. This one's going to take a little bit of thinking here. Alright folks, so I think we're going to call it a night on this here, but we're going to go in there and disassemble the engine that we took off of it and see exactly what happened to it. So we're going to go ahead and put this up at the house because I don't have a cord in the shop solely for the welder right now, so we can't weld in the shop. I have to weld up there by the truck. So we're going to get all this up there, call it a night on the mower here, and then we'll go in there and work on tearing apart that engine and see exactly what happened to it. Alright. This thing runs so good. Alright, block, trashed. Piston, probably still good. The rod, though, is trashed. So, that's exactly what happened. It exploded. But there's a lot of good parts in here still. So, we'll be keeping those. So, one thing I've never discussed, and yes, it's still nighttime, shop rags. If it has oil, grease, any kind of anything on it, you don't want to leave those in the shop at night. Little thing that I do, it's good practice, go ahead and burn them before you go inside. That way you know for a fact that they're not going to set your shop on fire, your garbage on fire, anything around on fire. Go ahead and burn them. That's what I do. I set them out in the yard, put them in a burn barrel, whatever. Just go ahead and burn them. Make sure they're out really good and burnt really good. And then you should have to never worry about your shop catching on fire in the middle of the night because of them heating up and spontaneously combusting. See you guys tomorrow. Alright, it is the next day. We're just starting to get things set up here for us to start welding. Leaky? Don't look like it's been leaking. Yeah, still got the same amount of gas in it from last night. Let's get on this thing and see if it fires up. I am curious. Will it start? Thing runs excellent. Excellent. So, now that we have a very happy engine, let's get that exhaust happy. Right now that is something that it is not. So, I seen a couple of single mufflers I had down there, and I thought about just doing singles, but you know what, they don't match. They're not going to look as good. We need to figure out this setup here. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here with the grinder. Let's get our headlight wires out of the way. Alright, now don't get. So, what I'm thinking about doing is I'm going to come in here with the grinder. I'm going to actually just remove that. That needs to be out of my way. Okay. I'm going to come in here with the grinder and probably cut here. Cut here. That way we can extend these. Let's see. Should have a crayon. Yellow crayon. Well, you can tell she's hot already. Okay, there's our marks. That's where we will start cutting our exhaust pipe. And then hopefully I can find some of the same diameter pipe that we can continue on to come out here for our muffler. Alright, we got our pipes cut here. We had taken and marked our exhaust. We got those mounted. So we are about to, oh, we also got these cut. These aren't the same exact diameter, but they are the closest I have. So we're going to make it work. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and weld these here in place, and then we will stick this up here, mock it up, mark these out again because they will have to be cut on this side on the down tubes. We'll take those off, and then we'll cut these off, mount that, weld it to it, and then we should be good. Alright, there's our exhaust. Actually turned out pretty decent. A little extension pipe on each side. It's a little kicked over on the right side, but we'll see how it runs with it on there. It ought to sound pretty quiet. Heck yeah, that thing's real quiet. Fires right up too. Let's see if the hood will fit on it. Kind of wondering about that. I'm hoping it does, because if not, we have an issue. Boy, that hood barely fits. I had to bend. This one was already bent, actually. I had to bend this one out a little bit because it was actually hitting the engine over here. But like, it barely fits. But it fits. So, wow. That thing has a massive engine on it now. I don't think I've ever seen a Bolens with an opposed twin. That thing's ridiculous. Oh man. But it fit in there. Barely, but we got her stuffed. So now we can focus on the deck. What I might do is get some glue or something, and I think I want to glue this back down because it'd be so much better if it was in place. So let's see if we can't do that real quick, and then we'll start focusing on getting the deck back on this thing, because it's almost done. Alright, got a couple other things cleaned up. We got the deck cleaned up, and I got this part over here bent back out where it was bent in. It's all reshaped. We was able to glue our foot pedal back down, our foot pad, so now it's even, and all we got to do is get the deck up on it and get it cleaned up again. So, well, other than the choke cable, I want to see what the customer wants to do about that, but it's looking good. I am happy with it. Let's get that deck in place. Alright, we got the deck back on. Everything's basically in place. The steering's a little loose. I don't know what that is. Oh. So we probably need to pop the cap. Pull its steering. It's very loose. Something I didn't notice. We got our steering tight. Pop the steering wheel off only to find out that you tightened it from the back, so that's always great. While we're in here, we're going to do this steering here a little justice. That way, if we ever had to pull this off again, someone else, or, you know, whoever works on it again won't have such a hard time. Slides on there a lot easier now. And it'll lube up the threads for that bolt. That way it won't never get stuck or rusted in there. back in, and our steering is now nice and tight. Let's put tools away. You get on this thing, ride it around, and see how it does. All right. See how she does. Reverse. runs good. It cuts good except for the belt being a little loose. Maybe I can figure out how to tighten that up some. Actually, I think I do know how I could. I need to move that spring. Yeah, I need to move that spring. Let's get it cleaned up real quick. See how it looks all sprayed down. And then we'll figure out tightening up that blade. Or tightening up the deck belt there. Alright, we are almost done with this machine. We just rinsed it off, cleaned it up really good. It looks great. It actually ends up looking better than my Bolens. So, whatever. But I will park them side by side for a couple days. Because there's one thing we're not going to be able to get in this video. I'm going to have to talk to the customer, have him mail me one, or order it and have it shipped to the shop. Unless he's happy with the choke cable just being under the hood. We're going to have to order a choke cable for the dash. Other than that, it works, runs, rides, and mows pretty good, except for the adjustment on the deck, which we are about to do. After we let this thing sit here and dry for a second, we're going to bring it back over here and get that spring moved up some so it'll bite on the belt just a little better. But other than that, it turned out to be a pretty nice 38-inch cut mower with an engine on it that's probably a little overkill. Alright, it's dried up enough. My butt's probably gonna get a little wet, but whatever. Now this thing runs so good. It runs real good. Alright, let's lower this deck and get under there and figure out this spring placement, and then hopefully it'll bite harder. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to drill another hole up here for the spring, and then we're going to relocate our idler here, which actually looks to be bent down a little bit. I might need to address that. Okay. Let's take that idler pulley off. Tweak that back up. We'll move it some. Sorry, I didn't have it pointed down there. Take that idler pulley off. We'll tweak it to where it's level. Move it over some so it tightens the belt. And then we'll drill another hole so we can relocate the spring and also assist with tightening the belt. Alright, we moved our idler pulley over an inch. We also have us a new hole here drilled for our spring. So let's take this back out here, rinse it off real quick, and get it back on the mower. Alright, deck's back on. Should have a tight belt. Let's fire it up real quick. Put the deck down. Put it up. I believe we are done with this one. Deck works. Reverse works, forward works, engine works. We're going to get it over here with the other one. And I can go ahead and pull my battery off this thing because we are done with the Bolens. Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed this engine swap and transformation of the Bolens MTD 38-inch cut with now a 14.5 opposed twin. Came to us with a blown up engine and is leaving with a good engine, good mowing deck, and everything working properly. So like I said, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go down there and leave a like, comment down below. Got some stuff on my lens. My camera's getting worse. I want to get a new one soon. Y'all be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Hit the all notification bell, like, comment, check out the Facebook, Instagram, and the TikTok. And you can also come join us on Facebook at Flying Brown's Garage. Mud and race mowers. Share your builds, share your ideas, and all that good stuff. If you're in a Flying Brown's Garage mood, you can go to the channel, click on playlist. There's a ton of stuff there for y'all to watch. And if not, just stay tuned for the newer stuff. I will see you guys on the next episode, where I don't know what we'll be doing, but it should be something good. And yeah, good. So, see you guys then.